Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Henshins. Sorry if my voice sounds a little funky in this. I'm kind of getting over one of those random, goofy, phlegmy coughs. Suffice it to say, I work at a grocery store. I work in the freezer section. I was stupid and got wet in the rain and came in and thought I had dried off enough. Didn't. Got cold from it. So, um, anyway, so today's video is going to be kind of a big one. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm going to kind of try to talk about the 3 new episodes of Power Rangers Dino Fury that was put up on Netflix with the rest of the season that's available right now. Clearly, before this, we only got episodes 1 through 8, and then it was on hiatus. It looks like, because it says right now it's a Netflix original, which doesn't mean a whole lot. It just means that they kind of like are hosting it on their platform and all that. So, anyway, um, that is what the video is going to be today. Is going to be a review of episodes 9, 10, and 11. Um, Episode 9 was overall pretty good. It was a quick little thing too was 9, 10, 11. Also, just so you know ahead of time, for one, yes, there'll be spoilers. Yes, of course, I'll be talking about plot and stuff like that. And also, specifically with these, we've not yet, and I'll say it now, in these 3 episodes, gotten any indication of Gold yet. We know who he is, the actor that's playing him, his character Ion. He's from Ralph Kahn, blah, blah, blah. But we don't, in these episodes, we get nothing about him yet. So, just so you guys are aware of that. But anyway, episode 9 focuses on Ollie, actually, which it was kind of nice to get another focus episode on him. But anyway, so he's the inventor, as we all know, and they're on I think it's like a camping trip or something like that. And he's showing off all these inventions, and Zato's like, well, I think camping's more about just kind of doing it without, technology and blah, blah, blah. And, of course, Ollie, ever the kind of, arrogant guy he is sometimes, is like, oh no, you need this, you need this, you need this jacket that does this, you need my extendo, collapsible walking stick and all this stuff. Well, they eventually find, I think it's Zato and the Garcia siblings, find Void Knight, and I've just thought about it for now. They've not actually met Void Knight yet after becoming Rangers. So he actually says to him, he's like, I know you guys haven't really encountered Void Knight before. You're about to. So Void Knight, Mucus, and the monster for the episode, Rustafa, I think is his name, this big bird-like monster. Again, a great monster name. One second. So they are putting together this device under this tactical balloon for some reason that goes up, and when it goes up, gets a certain height, sends out a wave that knocks out all technology, including the Rangers' technology, so they can't teleport. The Morphers still work for some reason, but they can't teleport. So really just slowing them down so that Void Knight, Mucus, and Rustafa can get back to the city and can actually, find sporks and stuff and cause mayhem and havoc and all that. So we get this really funny scene because earlier in the episode, when they're walking around and stuff with Ollie, Izzy mentions offhandedly that when they were younger, that marshmallows used to be her brother's favorite thing, but that not anymore as much and blah blah blah, and that we should still have some left. And he's like, yeah, we will, and he's like tossing much in his mouth. I love Izzy and Javi's relationship. The brother-sister relationship is very well written between them. It's very organic. Although they're step-siblings, it's still a well-written step-sibling relationship, and the organic dialogue helps with that. So they encounter Void Knight and Mucus, and he says, do you know why we're here today, or why I'm doing this? She's like, yeah. Mucus goes, yeah, that balloon, it's your birthday. He's like, no. Oh, okay. I just love Mucus so much. But anyway, so they release the balloon, or actually Mucus released it too early, but it goes up, does the thing, knocks out their tech. So they fight for a little bit, and then the bad guys escape, and they try to teleport back to the city, and they can't. So the main group, minus Ollie, wants to walk back to the city, which I don't think would take that long, depending how far out they are. And Ollie wants to figure out how to put some tech together to get them there faster, either fix their morphers or something. And so they leave him be so he can try and figure that out. And they're kind of talking about how it bothers them sometimes that Ollie just won't, he gets so stuck in his ways of what he wants to do. And but then they also kind of resolve it saying, that's true, but he also is very tech minded and logical, and sometimes comes up with really good plans to help us. While it's happening, you see Ollie working on eventually like a bow and arrow situation to fire at the balloon. Tries doing it once, shoots it, and it doesn't get quite to the balloon. So the group comes back, and they try to get back to the city, and it brings them in a big circle right back to Ollie. While this is happening, we have Void Knight, Mucus, and Mustafa in the city gathering sporks. And causing mayhem and stuff like that. Of course, they're trying to call Jane and Jayborg are trying to call on the Ranger, alert thing to get them to be there or whatever, the Rangers, and it doesn't work clearly. So eventually they're able to help Ollie together shoot the arrow and get it fast enough to get to the balloon, enough height to get to the balloon, and destroy it. Gives them their, activates their attack again, and they get back to the city. We fight for a little bit. We get a bit of the boost key stuff. So we get a couple different boost keys here and there. Ones what I like so far, and not a fear that I really enjoy original footage wise, is in other seasons when like certain characters use certain weapons, you're tied to the Sentai footage. So if you wanted, let's say, a Black Ranger to use something that a Green Ranger used, you couldn't because there was no footage to go off of. Well, Hasbro's a little more loosey-goosey with their budget with this. So we've had a lot of times in these episodes where certain Rangers have used stuff they never used in the Ryusoulger, which is amazing. I love that differentiation there and that uniqueness of the clever writing they put in the setup of their action scenes to do that. So we see that here. A couple different members of the team use use keys and souls and armor that they never got to use in the source footage. So anyway, they do their thing. They fight for a bit. They fight Rustafa. They end up converting the Megazord into tank formation. That destroys him. And because he can fly and stuff, so they want to have be more armored because his laser blasts are really strong. So they defeat him, and I think they get the Sporks back. I'm pretty sure. So that was that episode, and it's a decent episode. I like that the moral of it wasn't necessarily tech is bad, but more about being too hyper focused on your own goals, and that just because Ollie always is logical and thinking of a plan doesn't mean he's always right. He needed their help and all of them together to figure it out. Just like they really needed Ollie there to help them not go in circles. So a tiny bit more ham-fisted of a lesson, if you will, than other episodes, but not bad. So if I had to rate that one quick, I probably would give that one a solid 8, probably. But 10 and 11, amazing. Finally, episode 10, we get the counterpart to Wiseru in Ryusoulger. His name is Slither. I love this. The beginning of the episode is in the base, Area 62. Mucus is there. He's building Wiseru. So I like this idea that the different generals, we had what was his name? The guy, the tank, basically Tank Joe, but I can't remember his name in the American version. Anyway, was a robot, not a Sporks beast. Same thing with Wiseru. He's actually, Slither. Slither is also a robot that Void Knight takes a Sporks and puts it into the robot to power it. And it's funny because, excuse me, Mucus mentions offhandedly that I chose this nice periwinkle blue paint color. I really think it pops with the pink of my, it's just being her normal self. Just one moment. And Void Knight goes, why do the colors matter? We're not Power Rangers. Which is kind of funny because his armor is clearly a evil version of their suits and stuff. Plus his sword is pretty similar, but just a nice fun comment, Excuse me. So, the actor Slither, and he's voiced by Campbell Cooley. We've got the reveal that Campbell Cooley's voicing another character in Power Rangers again. Fantastic voice with it. Very much the showman that Wiseru was. Very yes, this is my voice. And it's just, it fits perfect. I love it, love it, love it. I did a shout out to him on Twitter and he actually commented back, which was awesome. So Slither is cool. The whole plot of it is that he can shapeshift, which they kept that from Wiseru in Ryusoulger. Very important because this episode also has Zato showing that he's been sending out the messages to anybody from Rafcon to come to Earth, letting them know who he is, leader of the Down for Your Rangers, and that he's from Rafcon. Anybody that is from Rafcon, come to Earth. We'll keep you safe, blah, blah, blah. And also we get a fun little montage of the Rangers in the forest actually working together and training, unmorphed, which is really cool. I really like seeing that, and kind of sparring with each other. So they get a I believe either a message or something, some kind of alert, and then the person lands, comes out, and it's a person that calls herself, I think it's Arla or something like that, and she has her little antennas, and she's, so she's from Rafcon, she's Knight of Rafcon. Interesting note, in the previous episode, after they lost Void Knight actually says, "That's okay. My next plan is coming together very well. The Rangers don't know what hit them." I like that kind of connection between the episodes, because some of the episodes in Rangers kind of feel like standalone sometimes, and it doesn't in Dino Fever. They all feel like they flow right into each other, and I like that. So if you caught what I said before about Slither/Wiser being able to shapeshift, he's shapeshifted into this person that looks like a Ravkonian, or from someone from Ravcon, whatever they're going to call it, and gets to infiltrate the base because they bring him in. So Ara's like, "Oh yeah, I'm from there, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Oh, well, how come we didn't see your ship?" "Oh, it's very, advanced tech. You have very old stuff here. You wouldn't have picked it up." Just basically trying to cover his ass. And Zato's all about it. Zato thinks that she's the real deal, totally believes it. And Solon's like, I don't know about that. So they're doing their thing, and actually Arla says, "Oh, I need to rest." And they're like, "Okay," and they let her stay in this one room, and they go back to the city and to do some stuff. And it's just Solon there. Also, Arla mentions, "Hey, I found a way to destroy the sporks," which to this point we have not found a way to destroy them, so clearly that's a lie. But says that, "Oh, I found a way to destroy them. Let me show me where your sporks are kept at, and I'll destroy them for you." Very suspect. And of course, Sando's like, "Okay," which I get it. It's not like a dumb kind of like fascination with Arla. It's like, "Oh my God, you're finally somebody from my planet, and I'm so happy to see somebody," thinking they're all dead or worse, Excuse me. So keep going with the plot, and Solon actually catches Arlen in a lie. She brings out food and says, "Oh, you must be hungry," because she sees her trying to find where the sporks are. "Oh, yeah, sure." And so she gives her some food. There was an earlier bit in the episode where she talked about how she tried to make food for Zato, but she accidentally made Ravkonian dog food. That little promo shot we saw of Zato with a dog, it's a Ravkonian dog, and it literally has antennas in this episode. It's so funny, little flashback. Anyway, we have a callback to that because she gives the food to Arlo, who of course begrudgingly eats it because it's not meant for her to eat, or Slither to eat. He says, "If you're really from Ravcon, you'd know that's Ravkonian dog food. That's not meant for you to eat." "You caught me there," and she spins around, and it's Slither. And it's cool because Solon grabs him and teleports and brings him out to the forest, and Solon fights him a little bit. We get a Solon kind of like solo little fight for like a few seconds before she gets kind of zapped with some electricity and kind of set aside for a little bit. But it was kind of cool. She like actually kind of like hopped off a tree and actually swept his leg and whatever. Also, Slither, like every time he fights, like calls out every attack. He's like, "Punch, kick, sweep the leg." It's ridiculous, and I love him so much. So that happens, and he takes the I think he ends up somehow getting her communicator off or whatever, the little morpher thing, little thing. Gets back to the base and has Zato help show her where the sporks are. And that's when he realizes, he sees that Solon's morpher is left behind, or wristband is left behind, communicator. And then he touches, because she actually, Solon said earlier, "Okay, well, if you're really Ravkonian, touch my hand and read my mind." He's like, "Oh, you don't have to do that." And I was like, "Oh, I guess I could," and it's like sweating bullets because they don't do it. So Solon's like pissed, like, "Let me figure this out. Like, I feel like there's something going on here." And Zato doesn't want to trust her because he so wants her to be somebody from his planet. They write this really well. It doesn't feel contrived. It doesn't feel goofy or inorganic. It feels legitimate. Like, he just isn't willing to see reason because he's so excited that he's finally found somebody from his planet. It's a big deal for him. So anyway, he ends up touching her and seeing the memories of her turning into Slither and all the other stuff. So he transforms. They fight for a little bit. He grabs him again, teleports him back into the city. They fight, and actually he kind of kicks their butts for a little bit, even the Garcia siblings for a bit. And then the Garcia siblings get to fight Void Knight for a bit, which is really cool. It kind of kick his butt a little bit too, using two different souls, two different boost souls. So they fight for a little bit, and then Slither becomes big and turns into what's it called? Shapeshifts into Mustafa again. So we get a fight with that again, and the Megazord fight and all that. And I think they use a boost key within the Megazord, which was really cool. I really like that. I thought that was a really interesting thing. And it was to blind him enough to be able to defeat him. So they do. He transforms back. He's falling really tiny, in the sky because it's a far out perspective. And he hits some electrical wires before this. As you know, if you watched Rio Soldier, Slither's counterpart, Wiseru, and Creon have like a good friendship. They like really enjoy being around each other. They're good friends. Well, in this, Mucus is like, oh, are you going to be my best friend? He's like, no. He like is all dismissive, but he hits those wires, shocks himself, falls. Jane and Jayborg are like, whoa, what's going on? And they run away. And he loses his memory. He gets like reset basically. He's like, who am I? Who are you? He's like, I'm Mucus, and you're really me. You really don't like me, mean people, because you're my friend and I'm your friend and we're best friends, right? He's like, yes. And so he like makes the friendship happen because he lost his memory. I love it. I love what they're doing with this. The writing is so great. It's like a slightly different dynamic than the original Wizaru Cleon dynamic, but it works so well. And Slyther was great. I love his manipulative side put out here, his way of being able to shapeshift and kind of mess with people. And overall, he does a really good job being part of the villain team. And I really enjoy it. I think they're doing a really good job with the writing. That episode, absolutely 10 out of 10. Most definitely. So the last episode is this McScary Manor or something like that. You find out that Pop, Amelia's grandpa, he's been taking care of her since she was little, and that when she was younger, he says something mysterious happened to her parents. We don't know what that means, but that's later in the episode. So whole part of it is she wants to go to this manor because she's sure it's haunted, and wants to run a story on it, and that whole jazz. And so there's a monster there, Tombtress, I think, that ends up scaring away Pop, of course, but also like wraps her up for a bit. They let her go. And I'm trying to go through it kind of quick because this video is getting a little long. But the big moment here is she goes back to the manor at one point, I think. I'm pretty sure. I've watched it all the way through, but my internet was being kind of goofy. So she meets back up with Pop, and he kind of tells more of the backstory, saying that, her parents went missing, mysteriously. We're not sure what that means exactly. I have some theories. And that... that Amelia's always been obsessed with the paranormal ever since, thinking that was the reason and wanting to find out what happened to her parents. Kind of a nice kind of mirror with Kaito and the Zenkaijers, actually, with his parents. But anyway, so she's in ranger form in there, and she's like trying to disguise her voice and everything. But he finds something stuck somewhere, and it's actually a ranger key. It's one of a Dino key, not a Fury key, a power key, whatever it's called. And it's actually the Blaze key, which is like the Dime Volcano key, basically. And for the first time, we get a Pink Ranger debuting a big power-up mode. In Ryusoulger Co. / the Red Ryusoulger Red was the one to mainly use this power-up. Amelia is the first person on this team to use this power-up. She debuts the power-up and the armor. Maybe we ever get it. It's called like something like battle armor or blaze armor or something like that. So I think as we're going to go going forward, is any of them that give them armor, it's that certain key's name, armor. Kind of cool. She uses it gives her the armor. It gives her like fire with her attacks, of course, but also different thing than I think what we got in Ryusoulger is she uses the the key, and it lets her turn her sword into like a fire whip. Actually, at one point, it's kind of cool. I really like that kind of difference in how they're using it, trying to make it a little different from its original source footage. We also have her summoning the Zord. That when she activated the key, that awoke the Dimetro Blaze Zord. So it combines with the T-Rex Champion Zord, and we get the T-Rex. I think it's the T-Rex Champion Blaze Megazord, or the Blaze Megazord from Asian, something like that. So we fight the monster Tombtress, of course. I think at one point there's a part where Amelia's under a spell, but she breaks out of it. Not like a big important thing. But again, overall an amazing episode. We're getting a huge moment here where a Pink Ranger, a female Ranger, is the one that's debuting a new power-up and a new Zord. That's craziness. That has not happened in Rangers at all. So I really like that they're giving these moments to these characters that you wouldn't normally get. And that they're not, what I like is that we're not feeling so tied down so harshly to what the source footage did. That you can do some original footage things and do things differently. I really like that. So yeah, this episode, I probably would give it a 9.5 out of 10 just because I love Slyther so much in the previous episode. A fun thing about him, he's fighting Zato at one point. Zato does his pose and his roll call thing. And Slyther says, nice color, great pose, 10 out of 10, or like rates him basically. I love the showmanship thing angle of him. I love him so much. Overall, 3 solid episodes in a row. The first one, 9, is like kind of so-so compared to the other two, but we get some really nice moments with the characters, some really nice organic comedy happening between them, and not necessarily the comedic duo of Jane and Jayborg, although they have some moments where they're okay. It's a really good writing, kind of pushing forward the plot. Also, there's kind of a fan theory floating around there, again, spoilers here, that talking about like why we don't, like what's happening with Amelia's parents, like where are they, whatever, blah blah blah. There's a fan theory I saw online that Void Knight is somehow her dad and the lady in the tube is her mom. It could be something like that. I just think it would make sense because they talked about specifically her parents being missing under mysterious circumstances. So I feel like it'd be odd to just drop that and never go back to it. You know, it'd be a little weird. But could be true, could be not. Who knows? I don't know. It's either going to be that he's an old teammate of theirs that went rogue, he's somehow Amelia's dad, or I hope to God he's not Zeto's dad. Please don't do that again. Please, you don't have to do that, Power Rangers. It doesn't have to be all about dads all the time. Like Kamen Rider does that enough. You don't have to do that also. But like I said, 3 really strong episodes. I'm so happy they found a home on Netflix, and I'm so excited that we're going to be seeing these episodes on there now. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the hiatus is still technically going, but that once it ends, that as it airs on TV, that episode like the following week or a few days after will go on to Netflix, or maybe it will stop airing on Nick, and once the hiatus ends, it will just be Netflix. Pretty sure that's how they're going to do it. They talked about it being the main home, so I'm really excited about that. But overall, some amazing episodes. I've been loving Dino Fury so much. What did you guys think of the episodes? I know it's a bit longer of a video, kind of talking about these 3 episodes. I might have missed a few points, but I tried to kind of hit on the important things here. But if you guys have some favorite moments from the episode or things that I missed or things you wanted me to talk about, leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for liking the video, sharing, all of that good stuff. I really appreciate it. We're at 184 subscribers last time I checked, so really happy about that. Definitely some more videos to come once more episodes come out of this, or of course Zenkaiser as well. But oh my god. As always, stay hooked on Henshin's. I'm going to try to recover from this awful cough. Goodbye. See you later. Finger guns ahoy. Pew, 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 pew. Sliders awesome. Anyway, bye.